CIA would never have the legal jurisdiction or the incentive to spy on an American president.
But do they have the legal jurisdiction to sell drugs? Which they do. We know that.
Do you know who the ultimate power is over CIA? Which branch of government? The executive branch. So
if he says it's cool to sell drugs, then it's cool
we
to
sell drugs.
Yo.
Dude, we do things that are classified for a reason.
Wow.
And we do it all in the best interest of protecting Americans. And I mean, I am the kind of person that's practical to a fault.
Right.
So if you tell me that I can either sell cocaine to impoverished Latin American countries or watch 100 Americans die, I'm a cocaine dealer.
Wow.
I'm just the way I work, dude. Like, just like
you are honest. I appreciate that.
The lives here are more valuable to me than the lives here. That's just, I know that makes me sound however that makes me sound, but that's just the way that's the way I'm wired. That's my analytical overlay.
Yeah.
So I have zero reason to believe and zero evidence to believe, zero experience to believe that Epstein is not a real person or was some kind of CIA manufactured plant or was a CIA asset or a CIA resource. Zero reason to believe any of those things.
What about foreign?
However,
here we go.
However, I have lots of reasons and lots of experience to make me believe that he was a intelligence resource for someone else. He may have been a resource for FBI because that's a whole different authority that's granted on investigating criminal activity inside the United States. And they work with shady people, they work with criminals, they work with sources of all kinds. So he may have had a relationship with FBI. I can't speak to that, but definitely not CIA. However, if I was an intelligence officer in any of the leading intelligence services, the French, the Israelis, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, if I was an intelligence source for Germany, if I was an intelligence officer in any country that was interested in what's happening in the United States, I would 100% have devoted time and energy into tracking and trying to recruit Epstein into my asset of reporting sources because he had access. Such privileged access. And he was so malleable in terms of what he needed and what he wanted so that he could be controlled. Those two things are exactly what you're looking for in the dream boat asset. You want someone who can be controlled by simple levers and someone who has incredible access. Those two things together make a dream boat case. And I mean, even for an unsophisticated service, right? Like your unsophisticated services being Ecuador or Panama or, Romania. Those are basic services, basic intelligence services. Your really refined, really talented services like Cuba, like MSS in China, like the SVR in Russia. Those services could absolutely make someone like that sing and keep him well fed and well versed in the things that he needed and get incredible access back from him. And then when the natural course of American judicial process takes place, they can distance themselves from him as much as they need to, right? Because he's definitely not going to come out and be like, actually, guys, don't convict me because I'm reporting to the Russians. No, he's never going to say it. So it's all the hallmarks of a very good intelligence case carried out by a foreign country. Doesn't mean it is. It just has all those hallmarks. But a misinformed American public who is irrationally focused on CIA conspiracies, they see something that does look and feel like an intelligence operation, but they attribute it to CIA because of their analytical overlay from movies and TV, instead of attributing it to a truly adversarial service that could execute an operation like that.
What are the hallmarks that you see that really make you go, can't guarantee it, but damn.
The access. The fact that he was so close to so many people on both sides of the political debate, right? Conservatives and liberals. And he participated in extremely compromising behaviors with both sides. That doesn't happen unless either you are so disconnected from the American experience that you really do see everybody as just a tool, or you've been directed to build those relationships and incentivized to build those relationships and rewarded for building those relationships, because it takes a lot of effort. It takes effort to find common ground between very far-leaning people. And then it takes effort to build your life around being available to them when they're available, and then orchestrating these compromising activities. That takes so much time and effort. It's just not something that normal people participate in. Even the very wealthy come to a point where they're like, I could spend an hour with this guy, or I could spend an hour doing this other thing that's even more productive. And they will rationalize their way away against socializing and into business or something other more productive venture, right? So the access is the biggest thing. And then the second biggest thing is the incredible amount of compromising behavior that he participated in. Like even your kinkiest, craziest people who don't follow any kind of moral or ethical compass, right? Even those folks have a hard time functioning at that level and also participating in that much compromising activity. That's documented, right? Like oftentimes to get to a place where you're that morally and ethically flexible, you're not functional in other ways. He was somehow both. So he could have just been a very unique human being. I'm not going to say he wasn't, but probability-wise, he was probably helped or directed in that way, not necessarily magically gifted, but there's still a chance.